Why do some women play hard to get? Sharp Game coming at you with another episode from ChooseYourRelationships.com, author of Boss Life Secrets, which can be found on Amazon.com. So yeah, this is a question that I got when I was in Florida 2 weeks ago. And dude was like, hey, I've been trying to get at this girl for a while now. I think they might have worked together, or I think they probably work in the same building. And he said, hey, man, I'm trying to get at her. I know she's feeling me. I don't know how much she's feeling me. But they've definitely talked about meeting up outside of work. Or at least they're on their personal time, I should say. But at the same time, he says he brought it to her attention maybe twice. And she comes up with reasons why she can't. She didn't say no, but she didn't say yeah either. She said, oh, you come off like you're a player or you have a bunch of women and, I ain't looking for that. I got to get to know you better. So dude was like, how come, why is it some women don't play hard to get and they just go along with whatever comes about, follow your lead, while the others got excuses. Why she don't want to do what she wants, you want her to do it within any given moment. That's a good question. A lot of this comes down to the guys she met before you met her. She might have some baggage, depending on how old she is. Now, he didn't tell me how old she was, but her experience before you met her plays some into this. How she was raised. She might have a low self-image of herself. A lot of women, this sound a little crazy. Might sound a little crazy to you. They don't think that they deserve certain guys, certain people around them. So what they'll do, they'll self-sabotage the relationship. So maybe this might be somebody, let me tell you my experience. It's some women that I have in my life where they looked out for me in the past when I was going through certain situations or whatever. And over time, the relationship kind of changed. The relationship didn't necessarily change, but they changed. And I didn't really know it until I saw them in person. Now, we talk on the telephone, it's the same. Same over the telephone. And when I go see them in person, that's when I'm like, oh, she's on something else now. And that's when the relationship changed between us in person. Over the telephone is the same thing. The conversation over the telephone is the same. But when I went to see them, that's when they're like, hey, I ain't down with all that. I'm like, what? Yeah. Now, I have a sense of respect for some of these people because, like I said, they were there for me when I was at my lowest of lows, going through some hard times or whatever. So I didn't take it serious. But at the same time, I'm like, yeah, that's funny style acting type deal. So a lot of women will do that, because of, I don't know who they've been hanging around. I'm like 4 hours away, 6 hours away. So who they've been hanging around when I wasn't around, that makes a difference. And especially when people tend to get older, they tend to get worse, not better. People get worse. The older they get, the worse they tend to get. So a lot of that comes into play too. And her low self-esteem, low self-image of herself. She don't think she deserves to have quality people around her. And all that type of jive. You know what I'm saying? And the second thing I would say is she doesn't want to come off as being easy, at least in your mind. You know, because a lot of women, we live in a very judgmental society. And a lot of these guys will name call your ass with the quickness. I'll give you an example. The average guy right now, walking around, if he meets this girl today, and he had sex with her tonight, he'll swear that she's a hoe. He might not use those choice of words, but he won't think highly of her. You know, it might be you. She might think highly of you. She might be so attracted to you, so fascinated with you, so turned on by you. She'll just go along with whatever you say. She said, "Hey, you might tell her, hey, you want to come over to my house? We can grab a couple of drinks." I said, "Yeah, sure, let's go." Her level of attraction might be to the ceiling, but a lot of guys don't look at it like that. A lot of guys want women to be a certain type of way. It just doesn't happen like that. If you meet a woman that's acting a certain type of way based on your perception of what a woman's supposed to be, she's perpetrating a fraud. And that relationship is not going to last. Oh, it might last for a couple years. But long term, it's not going to last. Y'all might be together, but it's going to be toxic and chaos in that household. And there's a lot of women that kind of live a double life. They'll have an image for the beta guy, and on the other side, there's the other guy. And when she's with the other guy, that's who she truly is. You know, a lot of those relationships exist. There's probably more of those type of relationships than the quote, quote, real relationship. So, you know, if you've been following me for a while, you know, I talked about in a previous video where I was talking about the masked man and the masked woman. But basically, people put on an image, a perception of who they want to project who they are, what they represent, what they stand for. But that's not really who they are. When the cameras go away, when the people go away, when they go home behind closed doors, a lot of people there are an entirely different person. You know, so a lot of this comes into play with a lot of these women you might meet. You know, they might be attracted to you, feeling you, but at the same time, she has a long checklist of stuff that she automatically goes through within her mind. She's thinking about what her friends might say if they see you together. She's thinking about what her parents might say if she sticks around you long enough, if y'all take things to the next level. She's thinking about what happened in the past with those other guys. She's thinking about how she was raised. She's thinking about all kinds of stuff. She's thinking about how you might feel about her. You might judge her the wrong type of way. She don't want to be known as easy. You know, all kinds of stuff going through her mind. You know, and a lot of times, a lot of these women, like I said, they don't think that they deserve a certain type of guy. She might be looking at you like, I don't understand why he even, coming around me. I haven't had guys around me in a year or two, maybe longer than that. You know how many women are walking around here today that are sexless? They're sexless. They haven't had sex in years, especially older women. Years. They pretty much gave up on any type of romantic experiences. There's a lot of women out there, when they get past 40, if they're not, maybe they're divorced or maybe never got married. A lot of women, when they hit like late 40s, 50s, they pretty much throwing the towel on any type of relationship or dating any man whatsoever. They just go hang out with the grandkids on the weekends, or do find some hobby, or maybe she go hang out with one of her girlfriends from time to time. But most of her time is being spent with the grandkids, if she got them. If she don't got no grandkids, then on the weekends she'll just take off and take a drive somewhere, and that can go on for years. And or when the holidays come up, these women are like the first in charge. They take the extra initiative to do things for friends and family or whatever. Because they don't have nothing to do really. They ain't got no man. They ain't got no grandkids. In most cases. So she be like, well, I don't got much to do. Everybody else is married. So hey, I'll go down. I'll go back home and set up everything. Yeah, and I'll get there before everybody else and friends and family get there for Thanksgiving or Christmas or whatever. Because in her mind, she's done. Nobody wants her. And you might look at her, you might be, man, she's a pretty attractive woman, but her mind is not right. The mind is not right. When she looks in the mirror, she don't like what she sees. So that's where a lot of this playing hard to get comes from. It's like she don't see what you see. It's like you can tell a woman how she looks all day long. If she don't believe it, it doesn't matter. That's like if you walk up to a woman and say, "Oh, you're so beautiful," she'll be like, "Yeah, whatever." She'll keep it moving. Now, she might not say that directly to you, but that's what she's thinking. So, if a woman comes and say, "Hey, I can't do this, I can't do that," whatever, or she might have another guy. It might not necessarily be a boyfriend or husband or a guy she lives with, but she might have another guy. It's been situations where married women, you might approach them, they might be feeling you or whatever, and you might say, "Hey, why don't you meet me at the bar on Sunday? We watch football," right? She might say no. Not because she don't want to hang out with you. She already got another guy on the side for that. So in her mind, she can't handle a third guy. She got her husband at home, got the side dude, and now you coming along, you're a third dude. That's too much for her. And the reason why I know this, because I've had experiences like this. But that's where the hard to get thing comes into play. It's not like she's necessarily playing hard to get. She might have too much on her plate, or she have a low self-image of herself. She doesn't think she deserves certain guys around her. She's trying to figure out, why is this guy around me? The rest of those guys didn't want me. Because, a lot of women, they want to be with the guys that don't want to be with them. See, a lot of women have an identity problem. They think that they deserve to be with that guy. But that guy don't want to be with you. He doesn't want you. But they don't see it like that. See, in this life that we live, I've learned that you get who you are. You don't get what you want. So until you elevate your consciousness, your belief, your entire essence of who you are as a man or as a woman, you're never going to get that guy or that girl that's up the hill, up the mountain, up the pyramid. You're only going to get who you are at that given moment when you meet that man and meet that woman. Doesn't matter what environment you're in. And if you do look up and get the phone number and start talking to people that you want to be with, but in your mind, you claim, you might say you're out of your league, whatever the hell that means, right? You might look up and talk to them, have a conversation with them, but you gonna blow it eventually. Either you gonna blow it, you gonna self-sabotage, or she's gonna figure out that you ain't who you claim to be, or you ain't who she thought you was. That's what usually happens. So you get who you are, not what you want. So hey, like, share this video. Tell me what you think below. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.